Hello everybody, welcome to the 1964 Formula One World Cup. So last season, the United Kingdom won the Nations Championship for the second year in a row, and Jim Clark for the first time has won the individual championship. With the United Kingdom and Jim Clark back for 1964, can either of them defend their titles? Without further ado, let's meet the teams that we've got for this year. And here are the first four teams for the season, the number one team being the United Kingdom, of course, with Jim Clark retiring to defend his title, with Peter Arundel, Graham Hill and John Surtees alongside him. With the United States being the number two team, with Richie Ginter, Dan Gurney, Phil Hill and AJ Foyt to try and take that top spot away from the Brits. With France number 3 and Belgium team number 4. Looking down to the other four teams, we've got Italy number 5, with Switzerland number 6, West Germany takes the number 7 spot, and the final team is the Netherlands, making their return to the Formula World Cup since 1957. So that's all 8 teams we've got for the season. Let's now move over to the group lineup. And here are the 4 groups we've got for the 1964 season. With Group A, the ones to watch out for are definitely going to be Richie Ginter and Lorenzo Bandini. Group B is going to be a quite strong lineup with Jim Clark, Dan Gurney, Lucien Bianchi and Giancarlo Baghetti. So those 4 drivers are definitely going to be the ones to watch out for. Group C, the ones I would say the ones to watch out for are going to be John Surtees, AJ Foyt and Maurice Trintignant. With Group D also being a quite strong lineup with Graham Hill, Phil Hill, Guy Ligier and Pierre Noblet. So with those 4 groups out of the way, it's finally time to get to the action, and we will start off with Group A. And here we go, let's kick things off with Group A for the 1964 Formula World Cup, and without further ado, let's just get straight to the first race. Race number 1, we go to the 12-hour Sebring. Richie Ginter wins for the United States, Peter Lindner is second for West Germany, Mauro Bianchi third for Belgium, Herbert Muller fourth for Switzerland, Lorenzo Bandini takes fifth for Italy, Jean Gouchet sixth for France, Henk van Zeelange is seventh, and Pierre Arundel rounds off the board for the United Kingdom. And going over to race number 2, we go to Targa Florio, and Jean Gouchet wins for France, Herbert Muller second for Switzerland, Mauro Bianchi third for Belgium, Henk van Zeelange is fourth for the Netherlands, Pierre Arundel fifth for the United Kingdom, Pierre Lindner is sixth for West Germany, Richie Ginter seventh for the United States, and Lorenzo Bandini rounds off the board. Race number 3, we go to Monaco. Mauro Bianchi wins for Belgium, Jean Gouchet is second for France, Pierre Lindner is third for West Germany, Richie Ginter fourth for the United States, Pierre Arundel fifth for the United Kingdom, Herbert Muller sixth for Switzerland, Lorenzo Bandini seventh for Italy, and Henk van Zeelange is bottom of the board. And to complete the first quarter of Group A, we go to the Netherlands, and Pierre Arundel wins for the United Kingdom, Herbert Muller second for Switzerland, Mauro Bianchi third for Belgium, Henk van Zeelange is fourth for the Netherlands, Pierre Lindner is fifth for West Germany, sixth is Jean Gouchet of France, Lorenzo Bandini seventh for Italy, and Richie Ginter bottom of the board. So 4 races in, and leading the way it is Mauro Bianchi with 73 points, Jean Gouchet is second for France with 65 points, Herbert Muller is third with 63 points, fourth is Pierre Lindner of West Germany 57 points, and tying for fifth is Pierre Arundel for the United Kingdom and Richie Ginter for the United States with 55 points each, with Henk van Zeelange in seventh for the Netherlands, and Lorenzo Bandini bottom of the board for Italy with 37 points. Going over to race number 5, we go to the Indy 500, and Herbert Muller wins for Switzerland, Henk van Zeelange is second for the Netherlands, Jean Gouchet is third for France, Richie Ginter is fourth for the United States, Mauro Bianchi fifth for Belgium, Lorenzo Bandini sixth for Italy, Pierre Lindner is 7th for West Germany, and Pierre Arundel rounds off the board in 8th place. Race number 6, we go to the 1,000 kilometers of the Nürburgring. Pierre Arundel wins for the United Kingdom. Henk van Zeelange is second for the Netherlands. Pierre Lindner is third for West Germany. Fourth is Mauro Bianchi of Belgium. Jean Gouchet fifth for France. Herbert Muller sixth for Switzerland. Lorenzo Bandini seventh for Italy, and Richie Ginter rounds off the board in 8th place. Race number 7, we go to Belgium, and Richie Ginter takes the win for the United States. Herbert Muller is second for Switzerland, Pierre Lindner is third for West Germany, Henk van Zeelange is fourth for the Netherlands, Jean Gouchet fifth for France, Mauro Bianchi sixth for Belgium, Lorenzo Bandini seventh for Italy, and Pierre Arundel rounds off the board in 8th place. And to complete the first half of Group A, we go to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Richie Ginter wins for the United States, Lorenzo Bandini second for Italy, Herbert Muller third for Switzerland, fourth is Pierre Lindner of West Germany, Pierre Arundel fifth for the United Kingdom, Mauro Bianchi sixth for Belgium, Jean Gouchet seventh for France, and Henk van Zeelange rounds off the board in 8th place. So halfway to Group A, and leading the way it is Herbert Muller of Switzerland with 134 points. Richie Ginter second for the United States with 126 points. In third is Mauro Bianchi of Belgium with 117 points. Jean Gouchet fourth for France with 112 points. Pierre Rundo rounds off the top 5 with 111 points for the United Kingdom. West Germany, not the United Kingdom. Pierre Lindner of West Germany has 111 points, rounding off the top 5. Pierre Rundo of the United Kingdom has 107 points in 6th. Henk van Solange is 7th for the Netherlands with 104 points. And Lorenzo Bandini is bottom of the board for Italy with 85 points. Race number 9, we go to France, and Richie Genser takes another victory. Lorenzo Bandini is 2nd for Italy, Herbert Muller is 3rd for Switzerland, Pierre Arundo 4th for the United Kingdom, Henk van Solange is 5th for the Netherlands, Jean Gucci is 6th for France, Mar Bianchi 7th for Belgium, and Pierre Lindner is bottom of the board in 8th. Race number 10, we go to Pikes Peak. Lorenzo Bandini takes the win for Italy, Richie Genser 7th for the United States, Henk van Solange is 3rd for the Netherlands, Pierre Lindner is 4th for West Germany, 5th is Jean Gucci of France, Mar Bianchi 6th for Belgium, Pierre Arundo 7th for the United Kingdom, and Herbert Muller is bottom of the board for Switzerland. And race number 11, we go to the United Kingdom at Brands Hatch. Henk van Solange takes the win for the Netherlands, Lorenzo Bandini is 2nd for Italy, Herbert Muller is 3rd for Switzerland, Mar Bianchi 4th for Belgium, Pierre Lindner is 5th for West Germany, Jean Gucci is 6th for France, Pierre Arundo 7th for the United Kingdom, and Richie Genser is bottom of the board in 8th place. And to play the third quarter of Group A, we go to West Germany. Henk van Solange takes another victory for the Netherlands. Mar Bianchi 2nd for Belgium. Pierre Lindner is 3rd for West Germany. Lorenzo Bandini 4th for Italy. Richie Genser 5th for the United States. Pierre Arundo 6th for the United Kingdom. Herbert Muller 7th for Switzerland. And Jean Gucci is bottom of the board. With 4 races left to go, leading the way, it is now Richie Genser for the United States with 190 points. Herbert Muller for Switzerland is 2nd with 183 points. Henk van Solange is now in 3rd for the Netherlands with 181 points. Mar Bianchi 4th for Belgium with 169 points. Lorenzo Bandini 5th for Italy with 163 points. Pierre Lindner 6th for West Germany with 159 points. Jean Gucci is 7th for France with 151 points. And bottom of the board in this group is Pierre Arundo of the United Kingdom with 148 points. Going over to race number 13, we go to Austria. Richie Genser takes the win for the United States. Jean Gucci is 2nd for France. Pierre Lindner is 3rd for West Germany. Mar Bianchi 4th for Belgium. Henk van Solange rounds off the top 5 for the Netherlands, as Lorenzo Bandini is 6th for Italy. Herbert Muller 7th for Switzerland, and Pierre Arundo is bottom of the board. Race number 14, we go to Grosser Burgerpreis, and Richie Genser takes another victory. Lorenzo Bandini is 2nd for Italy. Pierre Arundo is 3rd for the United Kingdom. 4th is Jean Gucci of France. Henk van Solange is 5th for the Netherlands. Pierre Lindner is 6th for West Germany. Mar Bianchi 7th for Belgium, and Herbert Muller is bottom of the board for Switzerland. Going to the penultimate race, we go to Monza. Richie Genser takes yet another victory. Pierre Lindner is 2nd for West Germany. Mar Bianchi 3rd for Belgium. Henk van Solange is 4th for the Netherlands. Pierre Arundo 5th for the United Kingdom. Herbert Muller 6th for Switzerland. Lorenzo Bandini 7th for Italy, and Jean Gucci is bottom of the board. And for the final race at the double 500 kilometers at Bridgehampton, Richie Genser wins yet again. Lorenzo Bandini 2nd for Italy. Pierre Lindner 3rd for West Germany. Pierre Arundo 4th for the United Kingdom. Henk van Solange is 5th for the Netherlands. Jean Gucci 6th for France. Mar Bianchi 7th for Belgium. And Herbert Muller rounds off the board in 8th position. And the winner of Group A, it is Richie Genser with 290 points. Henk van Solange takes 2nd for the Netherlands with 227 points. Lorenzo Bandini takes 3rd for Italy with 222 points, which is one more than Pierre Lindner of West Germany with 221. In 5th, Herbert Muller of Switzerland with 218 points. Mar Bianchi 6th for Belgium with 216 points. Jean Gucci has 202 points for France, and Pierre Arundo is bottom of Group A with 196 points. So with those results out of the way, let's take a look at the standings. And as usual, being the first group out of the way, the Drivers of the Nations competition are a direct reflection of the results, with Richie Genser leading the way for the United States with 290 points. Henk van Solange did an amazing job for the Netherlands to be second with 227 points, with Lorenzo Bandini in third with 222 points, and it's a very bad start for the defending champions of the United Kingdom in the Nations competition, with Pierre Arundo in last with 196 points, which puts the United Kingdom in last place. And now, we will now move over to Group B. And here we go, we move swiftly over to Group B, and without further ado, let's just get to the first race. The 12-hour Sebring is going to be won by Dan Gurney of the United States, Jim Clark 2nd for the United Kingdom, Robert Bush is 3rd for France, 4th is Ben Pon of the Netherlands, Joe Siffer 5th for Switzerland, Lucien Bianchi is 6th for Belgium, Giancarlo Baghetti 7th for Italy, and Gerhard Koch rounds off the board for West Germany. Race number 2 at the Targa Florio, and Jim Clark takes the win for the United Kingdom, with Joe Siffer 2nd for Switzerland, Ben Pon 3rd for the Netherlands, Robert Butsche is 4th for France, Gerhard Koch is 5th for West Germany, Dan Gurney 6th for the United States, Giancarlo Baghetti 7th for Italy, and Lucien Bianchi rounds off the board in 8th place. Race number 3, we go to Monaco. Jim Clark takes another victory with Gerhard Koch in 2nd, Lucien Bianchi 3rd for Belgium, Ben Palm 4th for the Netherlands, Robert Butcher rounds off the top 5 with Joseph at 6th for Switzerland, Dan Gurney 7th for the United States, and Giancarlo Baghetti rounds off the board in 8th position. And to complete the first quarter of Group B, we go to the Netherlands. Robert Butcher takes the win for France, Gerhard Koch is 2nd for West Germany, Dan Gurney 3rd for the United States, 4th is Lucien Bianchi of Belgium, Joseph at 5th for Switzerland, Ben Pon 6th for the Netherlands, Jim Clark 7th for the United Kingdom, and Giancarlo Baghetti rounds off the board in 8th position. So with 4 races into Group B and leading the way, it is Jim Clark with 79 points. Robert Butcher is 2nd with 65 points, Dan Gurney is 3rd with 60 points, which is 1 more than Gerhard Koch in 4th. Ben Pon and Joseph tied in 5th for the Netherlands and Switzerland with 52 points each. Lucien Bianchi is 7th for Belgium with 47 points, and Giancarlo Baghetti is bottom of the board for Italy at the moment with 34 points. Going over to race number 5, we head to the Indy 500. Dan Gurney wins for the United States, Lucien Bianchi 2nd for Belgium, Robert Butcher is 3rd for France, Giancarlo Baghetti 4th for Italy, Gerhard Koch is 5th for West Germany, Ben Pon 6th for the Netherlands, Jim Clark 7th for the United Kingdom, and Joseph rounds off the board in 8th position. And going to race number 6, we head to the 1,000 kilometers of the Nürburgring. And Dan Gurney takes another win for the United States, Lucien Bianchi 2nd for Belgium, Giancarlo Baghetti 3rd for Italy, Gerhard Koch 4th for West Germany, Robert Butcher is 5th for France, 6th is Ben Pon of the Netherlands, Joseph is 7th for Switzerland, and Jim Clark is bottom of the board for the United Kingdom. Race number 7, we go to Belgium. Giancarlo Baghetti takes the win for Italy, Jim Clark 2nd for the United Kingdom, Dan Gurney 3rd for the United States, Robert Butcher 4th for France, Lucien Bianchi 5th for Belgium, Gerhard Koch is 6th for West Germany, Joseph is 7th for Switzerland, and Ben Pon is bottom of the board for the Netherlands. And to complete the first half of Group B, we go to the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and Jim Clark takes another victory with Dan Gurney 2nd for the United States, Joseph takes 3rd for Switzerland, Gerhard Koch is 4th for West Germany, Ben Pon 5th for the Netherlands, Robert Butcher is 6th for France, Lucien Bianchi 7th for Belgium, and Giancarlo Baghetti is bottom of the board for Italy. So we're halfway to Group B, and leading the way it is now Dan Gurney with 146 points. Jim Clark is 2nd with 141 points, with Robert Butcher for France in 3rd with 115 points. Lucien Bianchi is 4th with 107 points, which is 1 more than Gerhard Koch for West Germany with 106. Giancarlo Baghetti is 6th for Italy with 96 points, Joseph is 7th for Switzerland with 94 points, and Ben Pon for the Netherlands is bottom of the board with 91 points. Going over to race number 9, we go to France. Jim Clark wins for the United Kingdom, Dan Gurney 2nd for the United States, Robert Butcher is 3rd for France, Gerhard Koch is 4th for West Germany, Joseph is 5th for Switzerland, 6th is Lucien Bianchi of Belgium, Giancarlo Baghetti is 7th for Italy, and Ben Pon rounds off the board for the Netherlands. And race number 10, we go to Pikes Peak. Another victory for Jim Clark. Ben Pon 2nd for the Netherlands, Lucien Bianchi 3rd for Belgium, Robert Butcher 4th for France, Dan Gurney 5th for the United States, Giancarlo Baghetti 6th for Italy, Gerhard Koch is 7th for West Germany, and Joseph is bottom of the board for Switzerland. And race number 11, we go to the United Kingdom, and Joseph takes the win for Switzerland, Giancarlo Baghetti 2nd for Italy, Ben Pon is 3rd for the Netherlands, Dan Gurney 4th for the United States, Lucien Bianchi 5th for Belgium, 6th is Jim Clark for the United Kingdom, Robert Butcher is 7th for France, and Gerhard Koch rounds off the board for West Germany. And to complete the third quarter of Group B, we go to West Germany. Another victory for Jim Clark with Dan Gurney 2nd, Ben Pon 3rd for the Netherlands, Robert Butcher 4th for France, Giancarlo Baghetti 5th for Italy, 6th is Lucien Bianchi of Belgium, Joseph is 7th for Switzerland, and Gerhard Koch rounds off the board for West Germany. And so with 4 races left to go, leading the way it is Jim Clark with 226 points. Dan Gurney is 2nd for the United States with 210. Robert Butcher is 3rd with 166 points for France. 4th is Lucien Bianchi of Belgium with 154 points. Ben Pon 5th for the Netherlands with 151 points. Joseph is 6th for Switzerland with 147 points, which is one more than Giancarlo Baghetti of Italy with 146. Gerhard Koch for West Germany is bottom of the board with 144 points. Going over to race number 13, we go to Austria. Jim Clark wins yet again. Lucien Bianchi 2nd for Belgium. Joseph is 3rd for Switzerland. 4th is Ben Pon of the Netherlands. Robert Butcher 5th for France, Dan Gurney 6th for the United States, Gerhard Koch is 7th for West Germany, and Giancarlo Baghetti rounds off the board for Italy. Race number 14, we go to Grosser Bergerpreis, and Gerhard Koch wins for West Germany. Lucy Bianchi is 2nd for Belgium, Robert Butcher 3rd for France, Ben Pon is 4th for the Netherlands, Joe Siffert 5th for Switzerland, Giancarlo Baghetti 6th for Italy, Jim Clark is 7th for the United Kingdom, and Dan Gurney is bottom of the board in 8th place. Race number 15, we go to Monza. Gerhard Koch takes another victory. Joe Siffert 2nd for Switzerland, Lucy Bianchi 3rd for Belgium, Robert Butcher 4th for France, Dan Gurney is 5th for the United States, 6th is Giancarlo Baghetti of Italy, Ben Pon is 7th for the Netherlands, and Jim Clark is bottom of the board in 8th position. And for the 16th and final race, the win is going to go to Dan Gurney for the United States at the double 500 kilometers, with Ben Pon is 2nd for the Netherlands, 3rd is Gerhard Koch of West Germany, Joe Siffert 4th for Switzerland, Robert Butcher 5th for France, Lucy Bianchi 6th for Belgium, Giancarlo Baghetti is 7th for Italy, and Jim Clark rounds off the board in 8th place. And the winner of Group B, it is Jim Clark with 276 points, Dan Gurney is 2nd with 264 points, Lucy Bianchi takes 3rd for Belgium with 220 points, one more than Gerhard Koch of West Germany with 219. Robert Butcher is 5th for France with 217 points. Joe Siffert has 207 points for Switzerland, which is one more than Ben Pon for the Netherlands with 206 points. Giancarlo Baghetti is bottom of Group B with 183 points. Now before we move on to Group C, let's take a look at the standings and see where everything stacks up. With 2 groups down and 2 left to go, Richie Ginter does continue to lead the way with 209 points, with the defending champion Jim Clark now in 2nd place with 276 points, 12 more than the other American of Dan Gurney in 3rd, but the 2 American drivers being the top 3 has helped the United States have nearly a 100 point lead over the United Kingdom in 2nd, with West Germany jumping into 3rd place with Belgium in 4th. And with that out of the way, let's now move over to Group C. And here we go, it is now Group C for the 1964 Formula World Cup, and let's get straight to the first race, the 12-hour Sebring, which is going to be won by John Surtees of the United Kingdom, Gerhard Metter is 2nd for West Germany, Maurice Trintignant 3rd for France, EJ Foyt is 4th for the United States, Carrego de Beaufort is 5th for the Netherlands, Burles is 6th for Belgium, Nino Vassarella is 7th for Italy, and Edgar Barney is bottom of the board for Switzerland. Going on to race number 2, we go to Targa Florio, and Burles takes the win for Belgium, Edgar Barney is 6th for Switzerland, Maurice Trintignant 3rd for France, Karel Beaufort is 4th for the Netherlands, Gerhard Metter is 5th for West Germany, AJ Foyt is 6th for the United States, John Surtees is 7th for the United Kingdom, and Nino Vassarella is bottom of the board in 8th position. Race number 3, we go to Monaco. Burles takes another victory for Belgium, Maurice Trintignant is 2nd for France, Gerhard Metter is 3rd for West Germany, 4th is Nino Vassarella of Italy, Karel Beaufort is 5th for the Netherlands, 6th is AJ Foyt for the United States, 7th is Edgar Barney of Switzerland, and John Surtees is bottom of the board for the United Kingdom. Race number 4, we go to the Netherlands. It's Nino Vassarella that takes the win for Italy, Gerhard Metter is 2nd for West Germany, Maurice Trintignant 3rd for France, John Surtees 4th for the United Kingdom, Burles is 5th for Belgium, with Karel Beaufort is 6th for the Netherlands, Edgar Barney is 7th for Switzerland, and AJ Foyt is bottom of the board for the United States. So after 4 races, leading the way it is Burles with 71 points, with Maurice Trintignant 2nd for France with 68 points, which is one more than Gerhard Metter with 67 points. 4th is Nino Vassarella and John Surtees for Italy and the United Kingdom with 55 points each, with Edgar Barney 6th with 46 points, one more than Karel Beaufort of the Netherlands with 45. AJ Foyt is bottom of the board as it stands with 41 points. Going over to race number 5, we head to the Indy 500. Maurice Trintignant wins for France, AJ Foyt is 2nd for the United States, 3rd is John Surtees of the United Kingdom, Gerhard Metter is 4th for West Germany, Gerhard Metter is 4th for West Germany, Edgar Barney 5th for Switzerland, Burles is 6th for Belgium, Nino Vassarella is 7th for Italy, and Karel Beaufort is bottom of the board for the Netherlands. Race number 6, we go to the 1,000 kilometers of the Nürburgring. Burles wins again for Belgium, John Surtees 2nd for the United Kingdom, Maurice Trintignant 3rd for France, Nino Vassarella 4th for Italy, AJ Foyt is 5th for the United States, Karel Beaufort is 6th for the Netherlands, Gerhard Metter is 7th for West Germany, and Edgar Barney is bottom of the board for Switzerland. Race number 7, we go to Belgium. Edgar Barney wins for Switzerland. Maurice Trétille is second for France. Burles is third for Belgium. John Surtees fourth for the United Kingdom. Nino Vassarella is fifth for Italy. Gerhard Mitter is sixth for West Germany. Karel Beaufort is seventh for the Netherlands. And AJ Foyt is bottom of the board for the United States. And to complete the first half of Group C, we go to the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and Nino Vassarella takes the win for Italy. John Surtees is second for the United Kingdom. Karel Beaufort is third for the Netherlands. Burles is fourth for Belgium. Maurice Trétille fifth for France. Sixth is Gerhard Mitter of West Germany. AJ Foyt is seventh for the United States. And Edgar Barney rounds off the board in 8th position. So halfway into Group C, leading the way, it is Maurice Trétille with 140 points. Burles is second for Belgium with 135 points. John Surtees is third for the United Kingdom with 124 points. With Nino Vassarella fourth with 113 points for Italy. Gerhard Mitter rounds up the top 5 positions with 109 points, with Edgar Barney 6th for Switzerland with 98 points. AJ Foyt is 7th for the United States with 89 points, which is one more than Karel Beaufort, who is bottom of the board with 88 points. Going to race number 9, we head to France, and Burles wins for Belgium. John Surtees is second for the United Kingdom. Gerhard Mitter is third for West Germany. Fourth is AJ Foyt of the United States. Maurice Trétille fifth for France. Sixth is Nino Vassarella. Edgar Barney is 7th for Switzerland, and Karel Beaufort rounds on the board in 8th position for the Netherlands. Race number 10, we go to Pikes Peak, and John Surtees takes the win for the United Kingdom. Karel Beaufort is second for the Netherlands. Gerhard Mitter is third for West Germany. Nino Vassarella fourth for Italy. AJ Foyt fifth for the United States. Edgar Barney sixth for Switzerland. Burles is seventh for Belgium, and Maurice Trétille is bottom of the board in 8th position. Race number 11, we go to the United Kingdom. Maurice Trétille takes the win for France. Nino Vassarella second for Italy. AJ Foyt is third for the United States. Fourth is Edgar Barney of Switzerland. John Surtees is fifth for the United Kingdom. Sixth is Gerhard Mitter of West Germany. Karel Beaufort is seventh for the Netherlands, and Burles is bottom of the board in 8th position. And to complete the third quarter of Group C, we go to West Germany, and John Surtees wins for the United Kingdom. Karel Beaufort is second for the Netherlands. Edgar Barney is third for Switzerland. AJ Foyt fourth for the United States. Nino Vassarella is fifth for Italy. Gerhard Mitter is sixth for West Germany. Maurice Trétille is seventh for France, and Burles is bottom of the board in 8th position. So with 4 races left to go, leading the way, it is now John Surtees with 205 points. Maurice Trétille is second with 193 points for France. Burles drops down to third with 185 points for Belgium. Nino Vassarella is fourth for Italy with 167 points. Fifth is Gerhard Mitter with 161 points, with Edgar Barney sixth for Switzerland with 146 points, which is one more than Karel Beaufort with 145 points. AJ Foyt is bottom of the board with 142 points. Going over to race number 13, we head to Austria. Burles wins for Belgium. Karel Beaufort is second for the Netherlands. AJ Foyt third for the United States. Fourth is Maurice Trétille of France. Edgar Barney fifth for Switzerland. John Surtees is sixth for the United Kingdom. Nino Vassarella seventh for Italy. And Gerhard Mitter rounds off the board for West Germany. Race number 14, we go to the Grosser Burger Prix, and John Surtees wins for the United Kingdom. Nino Vassarella is sixth for Italy. Maurice Trétille is third for France. AJ Foyt fourth for the United States. Edgar Barney fifth for Switzerland. Sixth is Karel Beaufort for the Netherlands. Seventh is Gerhard Mitter of West Germany. And Burles is bottom of the board for Belgium. And going to the penultimate race at Monza, John Surtees takes another victory. AJ Foyt second for the United States. Karel Beaufort is third for the Netherlands. Gerhard Mitter fourth for West Germany. Nino Vassarella fifth for Italy. Sixth is Edgar Barney of Switzerland. Seventh is Burles of Belgium. And Maurice Trétille is bottom of the board for France. And for the 16th and final race, the double 500 kilometers, and it's going to be won by John Surtees, with Maurice Trétille second for France. Edgar Barney third for Switzerland. AJ Foyt fourth for the United States. Karel Beaufort is fifth for the Netherlands. Sixth is Gerhard Mitter of West Germany. Nino Vassarella seventh for Italy. And Burles is bottom of the board. And the winner of Group C, it is John Surtees with 290 points. Maurice Trétille is second for France with 250 points. Burles takes third for Belgium with 235 points. Fourth is Nino Vassarella with 216 points for Italy. Fifth is AJ Foyt for the United States with 204 points. Karel Beaufort is sixth for the Netherlands with 202 points. One more than Gerhard Mitter of West Germany with 201 points, with Edgar Barney bottom of the board for Switzerland with 194 points. With one more group left to go, let's take a look at the standings. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, John Surtees is now joint top with Richie Ginster with 290 points each, as Jim Clark still hangs into third place with 276 points, with Dan Gary fourth, and Maurice Trintignant for France rounding up the top 5 places. In the nations competition, the tide has turned for the United Kingdom, as they now have a 4-point lead over the United States in second, while Belgium goes into third and France is into fourth. With one group left to go, it is now time to move over to Group D before we make our way to the 1964 World Cup final. And here we go, it's the fourth and final group for the 1964 World Cup. And without further ado, let's kick off the first race at Sebring. The 12-hour Sebring is going to be won by Graham Hill of the United Kingdom, Heinz Schiller is second for Switzerland, Rob Slotmaker is third for the Netherlands, Roberto Bussanello is fourth for Italy, Guy Ligier fifth for France, Edgar Barr sixth for West Germany, Phil Hill seventh for the United States, and Pierre Noblet is bottom of the board for Belgium. Race number 2, we go to Targa Florio. Graham Hill takes another win for the United Kingdom, Guy Ligier is sixth for France, Phil Hill third for the United States, Rob Slotmaker is fourth for the Netherlands, fifth is Edgar Barr for West Germany, sixth is Heinz Schiller of Switzerland, Roberto Bussanello is seventh for Italy, and Pierre Noblet is bottom of the board for Belgium. Race number 3, we go to Monaco, and Edgar Barr wins for West Germany, Heinz Schiller is second for Switzerland, Rob Slotmaker is third for the Netherlands, Roberto Bussanello is fourth for Italy, Pierre Noblet fifth for Belgium, Guy Ligier is sixth for France, Phil Hill seventh for the United States, and Graham Hill bottom of the board in 8th position. And to play the first quarter of Group D, we go to the Netherlands, and Edgar Barr takes another win for West Germany, with Pierre Noblet second for Belgium, Rob Slotmaker third for the Netherlands, Graham Hill fourth for the United Kingdom, Phil Hill fifth for the United States, Roberto Bussanello is sixth for Italy, Guy Ligier is seventh for France, and Heinz Schiller is bottom of the board for Switzerland. So 4 races in, and leading the way, it is Edgar Barr and Graham Hill both tying for first position for West Germany and the United Kingdom with 71 points each. Rob Slotmaker is third for the Netherlands with 61 points, Heinz Schiller is fourth for Switzerland with 58 points, Guy Ligier fifth for France with 50 points, Pierre Noblet sixth for Belgium with 47 points, with Roberto Bussanello and Phil Hill for Italy and the United States are bottom of the board with 45 points each. Going to race number 5, we go to the Indy 500, and Heinz Schiller wins for Switzerland, Graham Hill second for the United Kingdom, Pierre Noblet is third for Belgium, Guy Ligier fourth for France, Phil Hill fifth for the United States, Rob Slotmaker sixth for the Netherlands, Edgar Barr is seventh for West Germany, and Roberto Bussanello is bottom of the board for Italy in 8th place. Race number 6, we go to the 1,000 kilometers of the Nürburgring. Pierre Noblet wins for Belgium, Graham Hill second for the United Kingdom, Heinz Schiller is third for Switzerland, fourth is Edgar Barr for West Germany, Guy Ligier fifth for France, sixth is Rob Slotmaker of the Netherlands, seventh is Phil Hill of the United States, and Roberto Bussanello is bottom of the board for Italy. Race number 7, we go to Belgium. Edgar Barr takes another win for West Germany, with Heinz Schiller second for Switzerland, Roberto Bussanello is third for Italy, Pierre Noblet fourth for Belgium, Phil Hill fifth for the United States, Guy Ligier is sixth for France, Graham Hill seventh for the United Kingdom, Rob Slotmaker is bottom of the board in 8th place. And to clear the first half of Group D, we go to the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and Pierre Noblet wins for Belgium, with Graham Hill second for the United Kingdom, Phil Hill is third for the United States, Rob Slotmaker fourth for the Netherlands, fifth is Edgar Barr of West Germany, sixth is Guy Ligier of France, Heinz Schiller seventh for Switzerland, and Roberto Bussanello is bottom of the board for Italy in 8th place. So we're halfway into Group D. Leading the way, it is Graham Hill with 140 points, with Edgar Barr in second with 129 points, which is one more than Heinz Schiller with 128. Pierre Noblet is fourth for Belgium with 126 points, and then Rob Slotmaker is fifth for the Netherlands with 102 points. Guy Ligier is sixth for France with 94 points. Phil Hill has 92 points and seventh for the United States. Roberto Bussanello is bottom of the board for Italy with 85 points. Going over to race number 9, we go to France with Edgar Barr taking the win for West Germany, Heinz Schiller is second for Switzerland, Guy Ligier is third for France, Roberto Bussanello is fourth for Italy, Graham Hill fifth for the United Kingdom, sixth is Phil Hill of the United States, Rob Slotmaker is seventh for the Netherlands, and Pierre Noblet is bottom of the board for Belgium. Race number 10, we go to Pikes Peak. Graham Hill takes another win for the United Kingdom, Phil Hill is second for the United States, Guy Ligier is third for France, Pierre Noblet fourth for Belgium, Roberto Bussanello is fifth for Italy, sixth is Edgar Barr for West Germany, Rob Slotmaker is seventh for the Netherlands, and Heinz Schiller is bottom of the board for Switzerland. Race number 11, we go to the United Kingdom. Edgar Barth wins for West Germany. Second is Pierre Nobel of Belgium. Guy Leach is third for France. Heinz Schiller fourth for Switzerland. Velhel fifth for the United States. Rob Saltmaker sixth for the Netherlands. Roberto Bussanella is seventh for Italy. And Graham Hill is bottom of the board for the United Kingdom. And to complete the third quarter of Group D, we go to West Germany. Guy Leach wins for France. Graham Hill second for the United Kingdom. Velhel third for the United States. Fourth is Edgar Barth of West Germany. Heinz Schiller fifth for Switzerland. Sixth is Rob Saltmaker of the Netherlands. Pierre Nobel seventh of Belgium. And Roberto Bussanella rounds on the board in 8th place. With 4 races left to go, leading the way it is Graham Hill with 204 points, with Edgar Barth in second with 202 points. Heinz Schiller third for Switzerland with 180 points. Pierre Nobel in fourth for Belgium with 176 points. In the fifth is Guy Leach of France with 167 points. Velhel is sixth with 149 points for the United States. Rob Saltmaker is seventh with 140 points for the Netherlands. Roberto Bussanella is bottom of the board for Italy with 126 points. Going over to race number 13, we go to Austria. Graham Hill wins for the United Kingdom. Guy Leach is sixth for France. Pierre Nobel is third for Belgium. Velhel fourth for the United States. Edgar Barth is fifth for West Germany. Heinz Schiller is sixth for Switzerland. Rob Saltmaker is seventh for the Netherlands. Roberto Bussanella is bottom of the board for Italy. Race number 14, it is the Grosser Burger Prix, and Graham Hill takes the win for the United Kingdom. Heinz Schiller sixth for Switzerland. Guy Leach is third for France. Rob Saltmaker fourth for the Netherlands. Fifth is Pierre Nobel of Belgium. Edgar Barth sixth for West Germany. Velhel seventh for the United States. And Roberto Bussanella is eighth for Italy. The penultimate race in Monza. Velhel takes the win for the United States. Guy Leach is second for France. Edgar Barth third for West Germany. Roberto Bussanella fourth for Italy. Pierre Nobel fifth for Belgium. Graham Hill sixth for the United Kingdom. Heinz Schiller seventh for Switzerland. And Rob Saltmaker runs on the board for the Netherlands. After the 16th and final race of the double 500 kilometres, which is going to be won by Graham Hill of the United Kingdom. Pierre Nobel is sixth for Belgium. Roberto Bussanella is third for Italy. Fourth is Edgar Barth of West Germany. Guy Leach is fifth for France. Heinz Schiller sixth for Switzerland. Velhel seventh for the United States. And Rob Saltmaker bottom of the board for the Netherlands. And the winner of Group D, it is Graham Hill with 289 points. Edgar Barth second for West Germany with 252 points. Pierre Nobel is third for Belgium with 234 points. Guy Leach also has 234 points for France, with fifth position going to Heinz Schiller of Switzerland with 229 points. Sixth is Velhel for the United States with 205 points. Rob Saltmaker is seventh with 178 points for the Netherlands. Roberto Bussanella is bottom of the board for Italy with 171 points. So with all 4 groups out of the way, it is now time to take a look at the standings before we make our way to the final. With all 4 groups out of the way, going into the final, Richie Ginter and John Surtees tie at the top with 290 points each. Only 1 point behind them is Graham Hill sitting in third with 289 points, and Jim Clark is fourth with 276 points, and round the top 5 positions is Dan Gurney with 264 points. In the nations competition, the United Kingdom nearly have a 100-point lead over the United States, as Group C and Group D have been very unkind to AJ Foyt and Velhel, who sit 24th and 23rd. So here are the listed drivers that didn't make the top 24 spots but are through to the final regardless. Looking at the drivers that are outside the top 24 positions, probably the big surprise is the United Kingdom's Pierre Arundel. The United Kingdom are on top with nearly 100 points over the United States, but Pierre Arundel is still 28th overall with 196 points. But I'd say the biggest surprise has got to be Giancarlo Baghetti to be down in 30th with only 183 points. Can Arundel and Baghetti turn things around going into the final? Will we see any other surprises outside the top 24 at the end of the final? Without further ado, let's make our way to the 1964 World Cup Final. And here we go, it is the 1964 World Cup Final, and before we get into the first race of the final, let's take a reminder of where everyone's placed going into this final. Starting with Belgium, their 4 drivers are 8th, 10th, 15th and 19th respectively going into this final. Next up we've got France, and they're seeded 7th, 9th, 18th and 25th going into this final. And next up with Italy, they are 13th, 20th, 30th and 32nd going into this final. Followed by the Netherlands, they are 12th, 22nd, 26th and 31st. followed by Switzerland. They are 11th, 17th, 21st and 29th going into this final. Next up is the United Kingdom. They are 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 28th going into this final. The United States are next. They are 1st, 5th, 23rd and 24th. And the 8th and final team, which is West Germany, 6th, 14th, 16th and 27th going into this final. So without further ado, let's get to the first race of the final. Race number 1, the 12-hour Sebring, which is going to be won by Richie Ginter. Jim Clark is 2nd, Burleys is 3rd for Belgium, Lorenzo Bandini 4th for Italy, Herbert Muller is 5th for Switzerland, Ben Pon 6th for the Netherlands, AJ Foyt is 7th, Henk Baselage is 8th, 9th is Rob Slotmaker, and Edgar Barth rounds off the top 10. Pierre Noblet is 32nd, John Surtees 29th, Graham Hill 28th, Guy Lecia 26th, Maurice Trintignant 24th, Darren Gurney 19th, and that is it for the top 10 drivers outside the fish. That's the top 10 seats outside the top 10. Sorry. Race number 2. Targa Florio. Richard Ginter takes another win with Gerhard Mitter second for West Germany. Jim Clark is 3rd, Mauro Bianchi 4th, Pierre Noblet 5th, Herbert Muller 6th, Henk Baselage is 7th, 8th is Lorenzo Bandini, Maurice Trintignant 9th, and Phil Hill rounds off the top 10. So Dan Gurney is 24th, Guy Lecia 23rd, John Surtees 21st, Graham Hill 18th, Edgar Barth is 15th, and Burleys is in 12th. Race number 3 at Monaco. Burleys wins for Belgium. Mauro Bianchi second for Belgium for Belgium 1-2. Gerhard Mitter is 3rd for West Germany. Edgar Barney is 4th for Switzerland. Lucy Bianchi 5th. Heinz Schiller 6th for Switzerland. Joe Siffer is 7th for Switzerland. 8th is Dan Gurney. Rob Slotmaker is 9th for the Netherlands. And Guy Lecia rounds off the top 10. John Surtees 32nd. Richie Ginter 30th. Edgar Barth 25th. Graham Hill 24th. Jim Clark 23rd. Pierre Noblet 21st. Maurice Trintignant in 14th position. And to complete the first quarter of the final, we go to the Netherlands. Jim Clark takes the win for the United Kingdom. Gerhard Mitter second for West Germany. Graham Hill is 3rd. 4th is Richie Ginter. Herbert Muller 5th for Switzerland. Pierre Lindner is 6th. Lucy Bianchi 7th for Belgium. Gerhard Koch is 8th for West Germany. Rob Bush is 9th for France. And Mauro Bianchi rounds off the top 10. So we've got John Surtees in 25th. Dan Gurney 22nd. Guy Lecia 21st. Burleys is 17th. Edgar Barth is 14th. And Maurice Trintignant in 12th position. So 4 races in to our 12th race final. Leading the way it is Richie Ginter with 63 points. Jim Clark is 2nd with 61 points. Gerhard Mitter is 3rd with 56 points. 4th is Burleys with 45 points. Mauro Bianchi rounds off the top 5 with 39 points for Belgium. Towards the bottom we've got 2 drivers that have still got no points. Giancarlo Baghetti for Italy going into this final ranked 30th, and John Surtees with no points going into this final ranked 2nd. Going over to race number 5, we head to the Indy 500. Graham Hill takes the win with Mauro Bianchi second for Belgium. Joe Siffer is 3rd for Switzerland. 4th is Lorenzo Bandini of Italy. Pierre Rundo is 5th for the United Kingdom. John Surtees 6th for the United Kingdom. Richie Ginter is 7th. Roberto Bussanella is 8th for Italy. Phil Hill 9th for the United States. And Pierre Lindner rounds off the top 10 for West Germany. Jim Clark is 29th, Guy Lecia 26th, Maurice Trintignant 24th, Dan Gurney 22nd, and Lucy Bianchi, Burley is 15th, and Edgar Barth is 11th. Race number 6, we go to the 1,000 kilometers of the Nürburgring. Lorenzo Bandini wins for Italy, Edgar Barth 2nd for West Germany, Gerhard Koch is 3rd for West Germany. Jim Clark is 4th. Richie Ginter 5th. Joseph is 6th for Switzerland. Heinz Schiller is 7th for Switzerland. Dan Gurney 8th for the United States. Herbert Muller 9th for Switzerland. And Karel Godin de Beaufort rounds off the top 10 for the Netherlands. As Guy Lecia is 30th. Burleys 24th. Graham Hill 23rd. John Surtees 22nd. Maurice Trintignant 14th. And Pierre Noblet in 13th. Race number 7, we go to Belgium. Richie Ginter takes another victory. Dan Gurney 2nd to make it United States 1-2. Henk Baselage is 3rd for the Netherlands. Pierre Lindner 4th for West Germany. Mauro Bianchi 5th for Belgium. Phil Hill 6th for the United States. 7th is Giancarlo Baghetti of Italy. Graham Hill is 8th. Rob Slotmaker 9th for the Netherlands. And Ben Pon rounds off the top 10 for the Netherlands. Jim Clark is 28th, John Surtees 23rd, Pierre Noblet 22nd, Maurice Trintignant 21st, Edgar Barth is 18th, Burley 17th, Guy Lecia is 16th position. And to complete the first half of the final, we go to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Gerhard Koch takes the win for West Germany. Richie Ginter is second. John Surtees is third. Herb Muller fourth for Switzerland. Fifth is Guy Ligier, France. Lorenzo Bandini sixth. Nino Vassarella is seventh. AJ Foyt eighth for the United States. Ninth is Roberto Busanello. And Pierre Rudo rounds off the top 10. So we've got Edgar Barth in 28th. Burley's 25th. Pierre Noblet 24th. Jim Clark 22nd. Graham Hill is 18th. Maurice Trétillon 13th, and Dan Gurney in 12th. So we're halfway to this final, and leading the way it is Richie Ginter with 128 points. Mauro Bianchi is second with 35 points. In third is Jim Clark with 34. In fourth is Lorenzo Bandini with 70 points. And to wrap the top 5 is Gerhard Metter with 56 points. Towards the bottom is Jean Gucci going into this final ranked 25th with 5 points. Going over to race number 9, we go to France. Graham Hill takes the win for the United Kingdom. Richie Ginter is second. Jim Clark is third. Karel Gode de Beaufort is fourth for the Netherlands. Joe Siffer is fifth. Gerhard Koch is sixth. Burries is seventh. Robert Boucher is eighth for France. Lorenzo Bandini ninth. And Rob Slotmaker rounds off your top 10. So we got John Surtees in 30th. Maurice Trétillon 29th. Edgar Barth 27th. Guy Ligier 25th. We've got Dan Gurney in 17th and Pierre Noblet in 14th. Race number 10, we go to Pikes Peak, and Lucie Bianchi wins for Belgium. Edgar Barney is second for Switzerland. Guy Ligier is third for France. Jean Gucci is fourth for France. Graham Hill is fifth. Sixth is Richie Ginter. Pierre Noblet is seventh. Maurice Trétillon is eighth. Lorenzo Bandini ninth. And John Surtees rounds off your top 10. As we've got Dan Gurney 26th, Edgar Barth 25th, Jim Clark 21st, Burries is 13th. And going over to race number 11, we go to the United Kingdom. Lorenzo Bandini takes another win for Italy. Rob Slotmaker is second for the Netherlands. John Surtees is third for the United Kingdom. Lucie Bianchi fourth for Belgium. Graham Hill is fifth. Karel Gode de Beaufort is sixth for the Netherlands. AJ Foyt is seventh. Eighth is Roberto Busanello. Ninth is Dan Gurney. And Burries rounds up the top 10. As we got Pierre Noblet 30th. Guy Ligier 28th. Maurice Trétillon 19th. Jim Clark 17th. Edgar Barth 15th. And Richie Ginter in 12th place. And to complete the third quarter of this final, we go to West Germany. Gerhard Koch takes the win for West Germany. Jim Clark is second. Edgar Barney is third for Switzerland. Fourth is Dan Gurney. Pierre Noblet is fifth for Belgium. Joe Siffer is sixth for Switzerland. Bell Hill is seventh. Eighth is Lucie Bianchi. Graham Hill is ninth. And Edgar Barth rounds up the top 10. Guy Ligier 32nd. Maurice Trétillon 31st. Richie Ginter 26th. John Surtees 23rd. Barley's in 12th position. So with 4 races left to go, leading the way it is Richie Ginter still with 162 points. Jim Clark is second with 110 points. Lorenzo Bandini is third with 109 points. Fourth is Graham Hill with 103 points. And to wrap the top 5 is Gerhard Koch with 89 points. And towards the bottom is Giancarlo Baghetti of Italy with 14 points, going into this final ranked 30th. Going over to race number 13, we go to Austria. Dan Gurney wins for the United States. Joe Siffer is second. Phil Hill is third. Lorenzo Bandini is fourth. Edgar Barney fifth for Switzerland. Sixth is Pierre Noblet. Mauro Bianchi is seventh for Belgium. Eighth is Maurice Trétillon. Jim Clark is ninth. And Nino Vassarella rounds off your top 10. Edgar Barth is 32nd. Graham Hill 27th. Guy Ligier 26th. Richie Ginter 22nd. Burries is 17th. And John Surtees is 12th. Race number 14. We go to Grosser Bergerpass, and Graham Hill takes the win for the United Kingdom. Karel Gode de Beaufort is second. Jim Clark is third. Gerhard Metter fourth for West Germany. Ben Paul is fifth for the Netherlands. Lucie Bianchi is sixth. Nino Vassarella is seventh. Richie Ginter is eighth. Pierre Arundo is ninth. And Edgar Barth rounds off your top 10. As we have got Burley's in 25th. Dan Gurney 24th. Pierre Noblet is 17th. John Surtees is 16th. Guy Ligier is 14th, and Maurice Trétillon is in 11th. And for the penultimate race of this final week, go to Monza. Lorenzo Bandini takes the win in his home race. Edgar Barth is second for West Germany. Jim Clark is third for the United Kingdom. Richie Ginter is fourth. Edgar Barney is fifth for Switzerland. AJ Foyt is sixth for the United States. Dan Gurney is seventh. Guy Ligier is eighth. Pierre Noblet ninth for Belgium. And Burries rounds off your top 10. We have got John Surtees 26th. We've got Graham Hill 22nd. And Maurice Trétillon in 11th. And for the 16th and final race, we head to the double 500 kilometers. Robert Bouchet wins for France, with Jim Clark taking second. Lorenzo Bandini third for Italy. Richie Ginter is fourth for the United States. Dan Gurney is fifth for the United States. Graham Hill is sixth. Pierre Rundle is seventh. Heinz Schiller is eighth. Henk Banselange is ninth. And Ben Pon rounds off your top 10. As we've got Barry's in 29th. We've got Guy Leach in 24th. Edgar Barth 21st. Maurice Trintignant is 15th. John 13th is 14th. And we've got Pierre Noblet in 11th. With the final out of the way, the driver with the most amount of points in this final, it is Richie Ginter with 196 points. Jim Clark is second with 169 points. Lorenzo Bandini of Italy, who came to this final ranked 13th, is third with 163 points. Graham Hill is fourth with 138 points. Fifth is Dan Gurney with 105. Gerard Koch is sixth with 94 points. Edgar Barney is seventh for Switzerland with 89 points. 8th is Mauro Bianchi with 86 points. Lucy Bianchi is 9th with 84 points. And to round the top 10 is Joe Siffert and Gerhard Meta of Switzerland and West Germany, both tying with 76 points each. Barnes is 12th with 74 points, followed by Edgar Barth with 67 points. 14th is Pierre Noblet with 61 points. 15th is Herbert Muller with 57 points, with Karel Gunnar de Beaufort of the Netherlands with 56 points. Phil Hill is 17th with 55 points. John Surtees takes 18th with 54 points. 19th, Rob Saltmaker of the Netherlands with 53 points. And to wrap the top 20 is Maurice Trintignant with 45 points. In 21st is Pierre Rundle of the United Kingdom with 44 points. And then a tie for 22nd between Guy Legier and Robert Bouchet with 43 points each. And then we've got a three-way tie for 24th between Henk Banselange, Ben Pon and Pierre Lindner. Two from the Netherlands, one for West Germany with 42 points each. With AJ Foyt 27th with 41 points. Tied for 28th is Heinz Schiller and Neil Vassarella of Switzerland and Italy with 35 points each. With John Gushit in 30th with 29 points. Roberto Bustinello is 31st with 27 points. And bottom of the board is Giancarlo Baghetti with 19 points. So with those results out of the way, it's time to check the individual and the nation's stats to see who is our individual and our nation's champions. Looking at the championship standings for the final time and in the nation's competition, the United Kingdom have won the nation's championship for the third year in a row, with the United States finishing in second. Belgium claimed third ahead of West Germany. Switzerland going fifth. France takes sixth. Italy, despite Lorenzo Bandini's amazing performance, finished in seventh, with the returning team of the Netherlands bottom of the board with 1,006 points. With Richie Ginter being the individual champion with 486 points. Jim Clark, last year's champion, takes second with 445 points. Former champion Graham Hill is third with 427 points. Bandini takes fourth with 385. And Dan Gurney rounds off the top 5 positions for the United States of America. So let's take a look at the drivers that didn't make the top 24 positions at the end of this final. Being the drivers that finished outside the top 24 positions at the end of this final, AJ Foyt finishing in 27th with only 245 points. A major shock to see AJ Foyt having a really bad season, along with Giancarlo Baghetti, who did really badly this season all round, with only 202 points, with Roberto Bustinello right behind him with 198 points, the only driver to finish with less than 200 points. So I hope you enjoyed this 1964 season. Hopefully 1965 will be just as exciting and just as dramatic to see who will be the individual and nations champions. So I look forward to seeing you all for the 1965 World Cup season.